Greetings, everybody. It's Dr. Marcia McFee. Welcome to the Worship Design Studio. I'm so glad that you're part of this community. We are going to be creating meaningful and memorable worship together and getting inspiration and education for the whole team. So let's get you set up. First of all, you're going to want to go to worshipdesignstudio.com/WDS-home. You'll want to bookmark this page so that you can come to it easily. You can always go to worshipdesignstudio.com, but then you'll have to go through a couple of pages to get to this screen. So just go ahead and bookmark this one, and you'll be ready to go. I'm going to sign in, and you do the same. You're going to put your email and your password in. All right. So when we first come into the studio, this is what it's going to look like. You're going to see this message from Marcia. And I change that whenever I have something new or have something I want to tell you. So be sure and check and see if I've added something new. Usually I'll have that right up at the top about what I've just added and what are some of the new things. And there's always the Get Started message about where to find the Leader's Guide, the new Team Member Guide, and how to go to the Tech Tour, which is recorded, which is a 1 hour, a much more expansive view of how to use the studio than what I'm giving you right now. So you can always get to it there. Click the little X in the upper right-hand corner of that box in order to access the rest of the studio. So here we are spinning around in the studio. I'm perpetually there 24/7. And this is going to automatically spin. If the spinning makes you dizzy, you can always come over to the left-hand side, and second from the bottom is a little hand that says turn off auto spin, and so you can just click on that and it will turn that off. Like I said, you can get a much more extensive view of how to use the studio in the Tech Tour, the 1 hour Tech Tour, but I'm just going to get you started here. So once you're in here, you may want to, if we have set up a password for you, you may want to change that. So profile is where you can always update your information. So you can edit your user profile if your address changes, if your email changes, that kind of thing. You can change your password here. So if I click on that, then it's going to ask me to put my current password in, to choose a new password, repeat that, and it will change your password. If you can't remember your password at all, then when you sign in, there's a little place to say, I forgot my password, and it will send you one. If that doesn't work for you, you can always email me and let me know, and I can change it for you as well. This is also where you will resubscribe when your subscription runs out. You will try to go into one of the links and will say a payment is needed, and will lead you to do that. Or you can do that earlier by just clicking on resubscribe. And deactivate account. I don't know why you would want to use that, but we give you the choice. Okay, so let's go back to WDS Home. That always takes you to the spinny thing and to the big room where all the resources are. And you will have Marcia's desk down in the lower left-hand corner. When you click on that, you're going to see videos of me teaching, all my recorded webinars. Great stuff in there. The spotlight items are always the newest things that I've put in. So that's a great way to check out what else is new when you come back, is to go to Marcia's desk. The other buttons on the bottom also correspond to the same buttons that are around the room. You can get to the same pages either way. For instance, Music Arts, I could click on it here in the corner and go to the page, or I could click on the link down at the bottom, Music Arts, and go to resources that we have for you to help you enhance what you're doing with your music arts. So lots of ideas in here, and you'll just scroll down and see all of the different things. Again, we keep adding things as we go. Always can go click on WDS Home to get back, or there's this nifty little close window button there to take me back. All right, so that's true of music arts, verbal arts, visual arts, media arts, dramatic arts, and then second to the right button at the bottom is Seasons and Series. You can click there, or you can click on this purple button that's coming around that's on the little easels there. Seasons and Series is where we have all the podcasts and seasonal information to help jumpstart you in a particular liturgical season of the year. And so you'll see at the bottom we have Advent, Christmas, Epiphany Plus, Lent, Holy Week, Easter Pentecost, ordinary time summer, ordinary time fall, and about creating worship series. And that's where you can get all the guides to help develop your team, to create your team, to educate your team about what it is to be on a worship team and work together. It also gives you a timeline and developing the process if you want to get a plan ahead and plan together strategy. So that's where all the information about that is. I'm going to go back to WDS Home. And the last button is the Labyrinth, which is outside those beautiful windows in this church where I did the photo shoot for the Worship Design Studio. No, I don't actually get to work in there all the time. I wish I did. But this will always bring you to the Labyrinth that's outside. And again, it's going to spin you around. And we have some resources there about spiritual leadership and honing your skills as a spiritual leader and deepening your spiritual journey as a worship designer and leader. So that's what that is. I'm closing that button. We're going to go back here. Important place I want you to look right away, and that is our worship series up in the main menu. You can click on worship series, and it will take you to the page that shows all of my worship series for now 5+ years. And there's a long list of things to check out, to see what inspires you, to see if you might want to do some of them. There's 37 of them right now, but if you only want to see what's up for Advent Christmas, for example, just click on the Advent Christmas box right there, that little check box, and then click Filter. And that will filter out, and you can see my 6 years worth of Advent Christmas series for you to check out and see if you want to choose them. The way you check one out is, let's say you want to check out I Believe Even When. Over here, an inspiration page is a one-pager that gives you just a glance at the series, the synopsis, the title, the overarching scripture, and some pictures that sort of give you the essence of the season. So that's just a one-page flyer, so to speak. And when you get into designing in the design app, you'll see what that's all about. But for now, I'm just showing you how to find the information about the series. You can click on Brainstorms, and the Brainstorm page is part of the design app, and these are all of my brainstorms for that series. What you always want to look for is the blue one that says resource ideas for this series, because that's where you're going to find the Sunday by Sunday ideas for that series. It's a large document, lots of graphics usually, so it takes a little bit to upload, so just be patient. We're going to let that upload as I show you something else. So going back to I Believe Even When, the next one called Worship, when you click on that, it's going to download a synopsis for each of the Sundays. So this is a really good way to initially get an idea if this is a series that would resonate with your church. Because I have the overarching series description, but then I have the description of each one of the Sundays in that series. And so you can get an at-a-glance look at sort of the theological, spiritual direction for each Sunday and see if that's something that you would want to use. All right, so if it says standalone, it means that I have, for instance, put Christmas Eve in a standalone description. And so when you click on that, it's going to open up that document that just shows my synopsis for Christmas Eve. So that's all a standalone is. So those are the ways that you can see for each series whether or not you'd like to utilize them. Let's go back to where my Advent Christmas ideas, the resource ideas, have opened up. Let me remind you where I got to that. I clicked on Brainstorms. It opened up this little smaller window that looked like this when I first opened it. I looked for the blue sticky note that says resource ideas for this series. I clicked on it, and then I clicked on the attachment file, and it opened up this file. And as you can see, this is where we post ideas for every Sunday in the series. Music arts, verbal arts, visual arts, media arts, lots of different dramatic arts, different things for you to consider for your season. Now this is as detailed as we get for the season. Lists of ideas. We don't put together full-blown liturgies for you because we don't believe one size fits all. We believe we give you lots of pieces. You discern what's best for your congregation. Fill in the things that are more familiar for your congregation than what we give you, and you put it all together. But friends, there's a ton of ideas for every season, every series. So you should have a lot to put together your series quite easily. Let me do one last thing in terms of your admin responsibilities. Let's get some more people from your church on the account. So if you signed up and you are the admin, then you sign in as we've just done, and in the main menu, you're going to go to Member Manager. In Member Manager, you'll have a whole list of everybody on your team. Right now, I'm the only one on my team. You will also be the only one on your team if you haven't added anybody yet. So go and click on Add Member. You'll need to put in their first name. I'll put in my Director of Administration's information. He won't mind getting this. You put in their email. And you put in your church name. I'm going to just put in WDS, but you'll put in your church name and give them a password. I would say give something really simple, like the word password, and give everybody the same one, because they're going to be able to go in and change it to their own private one, just like you have. But give something that you can remember that's easy for them. So I've put in password. Now, core member is somebody who is going to be working on worship all the time. They have the ability to create series. Really, that's the only difference between a core member and somebody who's a series member, is the ability to actually choose one of my series to start working on. So if it's somebody who is your core team, who is doing worship all the time, like a music director, leave that check marked. If it's somebody who may just be working on one series with you, you could uncheck that, and you have unlimited numbers of those folks. All right, so I'm going to add member. Oh, passwords do not match. Yeah, I thought I did that. Make sure you put the same thing in. Going to uncheck that again to make sure I don't, because it automatically checked core member. That's a good thing to notice. Add member. All right, user has been updated successfully. What you should know is that the system itself has sent that person an email to their email saying, you've just been signed up for Worship Design Studio. Here's how you get in. So you don't have to do that. It's going to give them the place to go sign in, tell them to use their email, and give them the password that you gave them. So that's how you get people on your team. Let me go back to Member Manager, and you can see that I've just added that if you need to delete somebody, you can do that right there. All right, friends, that is the quick and dirty down low on your subscription to the Worship Design Studio. Again, there's much more in-depth explanation and telling you about each part of the Worship Design Studio by going to the Tech Tour. And let me show you how to do that. I'm going to open up another window in my browser. I'm going to go to marciamcfee.com. MarciaMcFee.com has my calendar in it. When you hover over calendar, you can see it's calendar events, online events, consultation, and conferences. Click on online events. You as a member are going to have access to any of my webinars. There's some that are free for everybody, but some that are members only. And this is where you can find that schedule. But it's also where you will find, you see this big recommended sign. That is where you will find this link for the recording of our introduction webinar. That's an hour long, and it helps you get much more familiar than this little bit that I'm sending you. So I always have when the next webinars are, the menu of webinars. Every Thursday, or at least every Thursday that I'm not in an airplane going somewhere, I am online at 3 p.m. Pacific time. And that is a time when you can just come on and ask questions. I'm just available. It's part of what it means to be doing this teaching online, is to be your live coach on your worship team and accessible to you. And so you can come on any Thursday. Of course, I will let you know on this page if I'm going to be flying or something, but most Thursdays. Team training tips 4 times a year. All of these that I do are recorded and put in the Worship Design Studio, so you have access to all the recorded webinars if you've missed any of them. Then here it comes again, prep for the seasons. Before every season, I do a little overview of what's in the studio for that season. And then your monthly continuing education with Marcia. This is members only. And so this is every month I do a continuing education webinar that focuses on one of the ritual arts. So we do the visual arts, the verbal arts, the music arts, the media arts, and the dramatic arts. And then we talk about worship leadership. So six sessions in the cycle, and then we start all over again with different content. Again, I record these and I post them in the Worship Design Studio. So you can be on live, which I love, but you can also, if the time isn't good for you, you can also see any of those recorded and posted in the Worship Design Studio. All right, friends, thanks so much. And I'm so excited that you are part of the Worship Design Studio. See you in the studio. Bye-bye.